Hello, Sigmas. Ever encountered a Sigma empath? These are the masters of silent strength, intuitive warriors who can read a room in a heartbeat. But here's the shocker. Push them too far, and you'll awaken a power you never even imagined. Buckle up, because we're about to dive deep into the hidden world of Sigma empaths, and what happens when they finally snap. At first, they'll vanish like a ghost in the night. Sigma empaths are the embodiment of inner peace, until that peace is shattered. One moment, they're calmly watching from the sidelines. The next, they're gone, leaving behind an eerie stillness that rattles your very soul. Then comes the deathly stare, a piercing, ice-cold gaze that can stop your heart in its tracks. When a Sigma empath reaches their breaking point, their eyes reveal an unstoppable force, focused, fierce, and chilling enough to make you second-guess everything. And don't be fooled by their silence. In the world of Sigma empaths, quiet is their ultimate weapon. You'll feel the weight of that silence, an impenetrable wall that leaves you isolated, frozen, and desperate for answers. So here's your warning, Sigmas. Never underestimate a Sigma empath pushed past their limit. It's like stepping into a storm you thought was just a breeze, only to be swept away by its hidden fury. Stay tuned, because we're about to break it all down, piece by piece. Point 1, the calm before the storm. You've probably felt it. A hush falls over the world right before a thunderstorm cracks open the sky. That's the same vibe Sigma empaths give off when they're pushed too far. This moment of eerie silence isn't about them bottling up their emotions. No, it's something much more deliberate. Sigma empaths are masters of reading energy and intention. Unlike most people who might lash out impulsively when provoked, these individuals step back and become almost statuesque. During this pause, they're not just standing still, they're processing every detail, your tone, your body language, the hidden meanings behind your words. Their calm is a sign of heightened awareness. In psychological terms, this aligns with high levels of emotional intelligence, the ability to read and interpret emotional cues in others with remarkable accuracy. Think about it, this kind of perceptive quiet isn't random. It's the result of years spent honing their empathy and their observational skills. Studies in social psychology have shown that people with high emotional intelligence tend to pause and reflect before reacting, which allows them to respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. That's exactly what's happening here. So when you see that silence from a Sigma empath, don't be fooled. It's not a sign of surrender or weakness. It's a calculated move, a moment of quiet analysis. It's almost like they're seeing you more clearly than you see yourself. And if you've crossed a line, that silence is your final warning to reconsider your actions. Because here's the kicker. Once that storm hits, there's no going back. Sigma empaths are strategic. Their response, if it comes, will be precise and powerful. They're not interested in petty drama. They're interested in resolution. And if that means cutting ties or standing their ground, they'll do it with a calm certainty that's even more intimidating than a shout. So the next time you sense that eerie calm in the air around a Sigma empath, pay attention. It's not just a mood, it's a message, and trust me, you'll want to heed it. Point 2, the power of boundaries. Sigma empaths have a built-in radar for detecting when someone is trying to cross the line. These boundaries aren't just polite requests, they're ironclad rules that protect their inner sanctum. Imagine an ancient fortress with towering walls, watchtowers scanning the horizon, and a moat that keeps intruders at bay. That's the world of a Sigma empath. But how do these boundaries work in practice? It's all about intuition and self-awareness. Sigma empaths are known for their uncanny ability to sense subtle shifts in energy, like when someone's kindness morphs into manipulation or when a conversation starts to feel like an interrogation. Psychology even backs this up. Studies show that people who are highly empathetic often have stronger emotional boundaries because they're attuned to their own feelings and needs. They understand that emotional health relies on protecting their own peace. So when that alarm system goes off, it's like the fortress gates slamming shut. They're not acting out of anger or spite. They're simply enforcing the rules that keep them grounded and safe. And once those boundaries are tested, there's no going back. Sigma empaths don't waste time with people who can't respect their fortress. Think of it like trying to sneak candy from a vending machine that's rigged with tripwires and an alarm system. You're not just dealing with a regular machine, you're up against a fortress of steel and determination. The person who tests those boundaries often finds themselves startled by the sudden unwavering resistance they meet. It's a powerful lesson for anyone who tries to push too far. In fact, this commitment to boundaries is a hallmark of the Sigma archetype, both men and women. They don't need to announce their walls. They simply exist, unshakable and unwavering. And because they know the value of inner peace, they're more than willing to defend it. So next time you see someone testing a Sigma empath's patience, remember they're not just saying no, they're saying, this is my fortress, respect it or move on. Point 3. Emotional withdrawal, the silent retreat. Sigma empaths have an incredible ability to shut down emotionally when things get too chaotic. They don't argue, they don't scream, they don't beg for your understanding. Instead, they simply vanish from the emotional battlefield. It's like watching the tide slowly pull back from the shore, leaving nothing but silence and an empty stretch of sand. This isn't about being cold-hearted or avoiding conflict, it's about preserving their inner peace. For Sigma empaths, emotional energy is sacred, and they're not about to let it be drained by someone who doesn't value it. This behavior is actually rooted in psychology. Studies have shown that people who are highly empathic often struggle with emotional exhaustion if they're constantly exposed to negativity or drama. When pushed too far, their brain triggers a sort of self-protective shutdown. It's not that they don't care. It's that caring too much can become a liability if it's thrown into a one-sided or manipulative relationship. That's why Sigma empaths don't bother to argue when things get toxic. They know there's no point in feeding energy into a losing battle. You've probably experienced how awkward it feels when someone just stops responding mid-conversation. It's unsettling, almost like you're talking to thin air. That's the power of a Sigma empath's emotional withdrawal. They know how to make their absence louder than any argument or rant. In this silent retreat, they regain their strength and distance themselves from the chaos. It's not about winning or losing, it's about refusing to play the game altogether. This withdrawal can actually be a turning point in relationships. It forces the other person to pause and reflect, because when the drama's echoing in an empty room, it's hard to ignore the emptiness. The Sigma empath's quiet exit is a statement, I'm done engaging with this nonsense. It's a clean break, a refusal to pour more of their soul into a situation that's not worth it. So if you ever feel like you're losing a Sigma empath to silence, know this. It's not because they're giving up. It's because they're reclaiming their power. And in that stillness, they're finding their way back to what truly matters, their peace, their energy, and their worth. Point 4, the razor-sharp honesty. Sigma empaths don't like sugarcoating. When pushed too far, they stop holding back. They'll tell you exactly what's wrong in no uncertain terms. Sigma empaths are a fascinating blend of intuition and independence. Unlike traditional empaths who often aim to keep the peace, Sigma empaths have a strong sense of inner truth. They don't believe in sugarcoating because, to them, honesty is more valuable than flattery. Psychologists describe this as radical honesty, a trait linked to authenticity and self-awareness. Research suggests that people who practice radical honesty tend to have lower levels of stress and higher life satisfaction because they're not wasting energy on pretending. Sigma empaths are naturally observant. They're not impulsive talkers. They're quiet collectors of emotional data. Studies show that highly empathic individuals process emotional cues at a deeper level, often activating brain regions like the anterior insular and the anterior cingulate cortex, areas linked to emotional awareness and empathy. When Sigma empaths do speak, they're not throwing out random opinions. They've already measured the situation, fact-checked it in their minds, and decided it's time to speak up. This honesty can be disarming. While many people are accustomed to tactful phrases and half-truths, Sigma empaths don't see the point. They're not in the business of making you comfortable. They're in the business of making things clear. Social scientists note that this approach can actually strengthen relationships in the long run. Honest communication, even when it stings, builds trust. Sigma empaths understand this. They know that sugarcoating might spare someone's feelings today, but it usually leads to confusion and resentment later. So next time you're around a Sigma empath, don't be surprised if their words hit like a truth grenade. It's not an attack. It's a wake-up call, and in a world full of polite masks, a little brutal honesty can be the best medicine. Point 5. The cold shoulder treatment. Here's the thing, Sigmas. Sigma empaths have mastered the art of the silent treatment, and it's not about being petty or playing games. It's a reset button. In a world filled with constant noise and emotional turmoil, sometimes the most powerful move is to simply step back. You see, Sigma empaths don't operate from a place of emotional volatility. They operate from a place of intentional calm. When they give you the cold shoulder, it's not a punishment, it's a preservation tactic. They've realized that your presence is no longer worth the emotional investment. So they stop answering texts, stop returning calls, and stop engaging in your drama. Think about it like an emotional quarantine zone. Just as a doctor would isolate a patient with a contagious disease to prevent it from spreading, Sigma empaths quarantine themselves from negativity. They recognize the toxicity in your words and actions, and they're not about to let it infect their peace of mind. It's fascinating how this plays out in the real world. Psychologists have noted that taking a step back can be a healthy defense mechanism. It's called emotional detachment, and it's a proven way to maintain inner balance when faced with manipulative or draining people. Sigma empaths take this to heart. They've learned that constant engagement with someone who refuses to grow or take accountability is a waste of energy, and if you're sitting there thinking, oh, they're just playing hard to get, think again. Sigma empaths don't play games. Once they've decided to disengage, they've already mentally moved on. They're not looking back because to them, peace of mind is far more valuable than temporary companionship. So next time you feel that icy silence from a Sigma empath, know this. It's not rejection, it's redirection. They're choosing themselves. They're choosing tranquility over chaos. And in a world that never stops talking, their silence speaks volumes. This isn't about being cold, it's about being clear. Sigma empaths understand the power of their energy. They know when it's time to conserve it and when to let it flow. In their world, silence isn't empty. It's full of self-respect, wisdom, and an unwavering commitment to inner harmony. Point 6. The icy indifference. When you push a Sigma empath too far, you awaken their coldest side. They become emotionally neutral, like a snowstorm in July, strange and chilling. But what does this mean in practical terms? Sigma empaths are usually known for their sensitivity and deep emotional insight. They're attuned to the feelings of others, often serving as a source of comfort and understanding. However, this emotional depth has its limits. If someone consistently takes advantage of their kindness or tries to manipulate them, the Sigma empath responds with an unexpected shift. They shut down completely. This shutdown isn't about anger or resentment. It's a protective mechanism rooted in psychology. When someone experiences repeated emotional strain or betrayal, their brain engages a self-preservation mode. Studies in emotional regulation reveal that this disengagement is a form of emotional detachment, a mental strategy to conserve energy and protect one's well-being. It's like flipping a switch from deep empathy to calm neutrality. Imagine someone who once poured out their energy trying to help others, suddenly becoming as still as a glacier. They stop explaining themselves, stop trying to be understood. They no longer chase approval or validation. They don't want your drama, your excuses, or your explanations. They've stepped back and let the cold winds blow. It's almost comical. People expect fireworks, dramatic arguments, or some fiery meltdown. But what they get is this frozen tundra, like Elsa from Frozen singing "Let It Go," Sigma style. But unlike Elsa's dramatic musical flourish, Sigma empaths don't perform for anyone. Their silence is louder than any song, and their disconnection speaks volumes. This cold detachment can be misunderstood. Some might call it harsh or uncaring, but it's not about cruelty. It's a final boundary, a clear sign that the Sigma empath has had enough. In a world full of noise and drama, their calm withdrawal is a powerful statement. It says, I no longer invest my energy here. Understanding this response is crucial for anyone interacting with a Sigma empath. Respect their boundaries, appreciate their calm strength, and recognize that their icy indifference is simply a shield, a necessary tool for maintaining their emotional health. After all, even the most empathetic hearts have limits, and when those limits are reached, a winter of indifference follows. Point 7, rising from the ashes, the phoenix effect. Here's the magical thing about Sigma empaths. They don't just walk away, they level up. Every time they're pushed too far, they use that experience as fuel. They become stronger, wiser, and even more unshakable. It's like they're saying, you thought you could break me, now you just gave me the blueprint to rebuild better. This isn't just poetic talk, it's rooted in something deeper. The phoenix effect comes from the mythological phoenix, a bird that dies in flames and is reborn from its own ashes. In psychological terms, this mirrors the concept of post-traumatic growth, where adversity and challenges lead to increased resilience and inner strength. Research shows that people who go through life's toughest trials often emerge with newfound purpose, sharper focus, and a deeper appreciation for life. Sigma empaths have this quality hardwired into them. They're not passive victims of circumstances, they're warriors of the soul. They use pain as a catalyst for transformation. So while you're busy playing mind games, thinking you're 2 steps ahead, they're out there forging a new version of themselves. This isn't some melodramatic "I'll show you" fantasy. It's a process of real growth and reinvention. They take every scar and every lesson and craft them into a masterpiece of personal evolution. Meanwhile, you're just another chapter in their origin story, an essential but temporary lesson in their journey to greatness. It's not about revenge, it's about rebirth. Like the phoenix, they rise brighter and stronger than before. And in the end, it's not about proving you wrong, it's about becoming the best version of themselves, no matter the challenges they face. Point 8. Zero tolerance for manipulation. Sigma empaths possess an almost sixth sense when it comes to picking up on hidden motives. Their natural intuition means they can sense when someone's playing mind games or trying to control them, but once they've reached their breaking point, there's no going back. They become masters at seeing manipulation in all its forms. They're immune to gaslighting, those sneaky tactics that make you doubt your own reality. Guilt trips, forget it. Sigma empaths have learned to spot emotional manipulation from a mile away. Instead of absorbing those twisted words, they stand firm, like a fortress. Think of them like human lie detectors. They see through the smoke and mirrors with precision. It's not about being cold or distant. It's about valuing their own peace and mental health over someone else's mind games. Studies on empaths show that while they're often more compassionate and sensitive, that very trait can make them targets for manipulative people. But once a Sigma empath learns to guard their energy, it's game over for the manipulator. They won't let themselves be anyone's emotional sponge anymore. You'll see them call out manipulative behavior with pinpoint accuracy. They might not raise their voice or cause a scene, but their words will cut through the nonsense like a hot knife through butter. Picture playing poker with someone who can see every card you're about to play, every bluff, every tell. It's all laid bare. That's what dealing with a Sigma empath feels like once they've had enough. They'll stand up for themselves, and they won't lose any sleep over calling out manipulation. And that, right there, is why Sigma empaths are unstoppable when it comes to maintaining their inner peace. Sigmas, the moral of this story is simple. Don't mistake a Sigma empath's kindness for weakness. Their patience may seem endless, but it has a limit. And when that limit is reached, you'll see a side of them that's as breathtaking as it is final. So here's what I want you to take away from this. Embrace your inner Sigma empath. Honor your boundaries, trust your instincts, and never let anyone make you feel guilty for protecting your peace. Because at the end of the day, your energy is sacred. And if someone can't handle that, well, let them walk away. You've got better things to do. Sigmas, if this message resonates with you, smash that like button and subscribe to join our community of Sigma warriors. Remember, your strength lies in your independence, your empathy, and your unwavering self-respect. Keep shining your light, keep setting those boundaries, and always stay true and stay Sigma.